Welcome to Current Affairs with FRAZ, your trusted source for unbiased, in-depth analysis of global geopolitical developments. We cover the clear facts and realistic insights. No hype, no bias. Stay sharp, stay informed. For years, they were the closest of partners, a unified front in a very turbulent region. But now, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, two of the Middle East's most powerful allies, seem to be turning on each other. A direct Saudi military strike against a force backed by the UAE has ignited a crisis, and it's revealing a deep fracture that could, honestly, reshape the entire Middle East.
So to really understand this pretty dramatic shift, we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the flashpoint that really brought this rivalry out into the open. Then we'll explore the incredibly complex proxy war in Yemen. After that, we'll get into the clashing strategic visions driving them apart, see how this rivalry is extending beyond just Yemen, and finally, take a look at the global implications.
All right, let's dive right into what kicked all of this off. You know, this crisis didn't start with some diplomatic note or a sternly worded letter. It began with direct military action. And that is a rare and very dangerous move between two countries that have been leading a military coalition together for almost a decade. This quote really gets right to the heart of it. That is a direct threat. It's from the Southern Transitional Council, or the STC. That's a powerful separatist group that's armed and funded by the UAE. And here they are publicly threatening Saudi Arabia, who's supposed to be their senior partner in the coalition. This is not just tough talk. It's a huge sign that the old rules just don't apply anymore.
And just look at how fast it all unraveled. First, Saudi Arabia gives the STC an ultimatum: pull back your forces. The STC, feeling pretty confident with that UAE backing, just flatly refused. And in response, Saudi warplanes hit an STC convoy. This wasn't a warning shot. This was a direct strike on the assets of an allied nation's proxy. This could be a point of no return.
So that's the immediate crisis. But really, how did we even get to this point?
Well, to understand that, you absolutely have to look at the battlefield where this rivalry is playing out in the most violent way, and that's Yemen. What started as a unified mission against the Houthis has just evolved into this multi-sided conflict where allies are now chasing dangerously different goals.
On the ground, you've essentially got three main power blocks. You have the official Yemeni government, which is backed by Saudi Arabia, and their goal is a unified Yemen. Then, you've got the Iran-backed Houthis, who control the north. And then, crucially, you have the STC, backed by the UAE. Their goal? To reestablish an independent South Yemen. And they actually see the Saudi-backed government as a threat to that goal.
And this really brings us to the heart of the matter. This isn't just about different tactics in Yemen. It's a fundamental clash of national interests, of long-term visions for the entire region. The alliance is fracturing because, well, their ultimate goals just don't line up anymore.
I mean, just look at what's motivating each of them. For Saudi Arabia, this is all about national security. It's their backyard. They simply cannot tolerate either the Iran-backed Houthis or an independent UAE-backed STC controlling their southern border. But for the UAE, which doesn't share a border, Yemen is more of an arena for projecting power. Their priorities are totally different, using the STC to secure maritime routes and to counter Islamist groups, who they see as a primary threat.
And that makes the STC the key player, the linchpin in the UAE's entire strategy.
Exactly, and I think it's really important to be clear about who the STC is. They are the UAE's main instrument on the ground. And while they do fight the Houthis, their ultimate loyalty isn't to the coalition's goal of a unified Yemen. It's to their own secessionist agenda, an agenda that's fully underwritten by Abu Dhabi.
But you know, this growing tension, it isn't just confined to Yemen. That conflict is now the most visible symptom of a much broader, and frankly more intense, competition for economic and political dominance across the entire region. So, you have to ask, is this conflict really just about Yemen? And the simple answer is no, not at all. What we're actually seeing is a major shift away from a unified Gulf bloc to an environment where individual national interests are creating friction on multiple fronts.
And those friction points, they go far beyond Yemen's borders.
Right. I mean, just take Sudan's civil war, where Riyadh and Abu Dhabi are backing opposing sides. Then there's the economic angle. Saudi Arabia's futuristic city, Neom, is seen by many as a direct challenge to Dubai's dominance as a hub. And strategically, some analysts think the UAE is using its proxy in Yemen as leverage, a way to pressure Riyadh on other issues, like what's happening in Sudan.
And this is so much more than just a regional power struggle. The breakdown of the Saudi-UAE partnership is creating some pretty significant ripple effects, and it's complicating the foreign policy of major world powers, especially the United States. And the consequences are really far-reaching. Think about it. The U.S. strategy of relying on regional allies to police the Middle East is fundamentally undermined when those allies start fighting each other. It also destabilizes the Abraham Accords and puts mutual partners like Pakistan in a truly impossible position, caught between two powerful friends who are now rivals.
So what is the big takeaway from all of this? I think the crucial point is this. We are witnessing the end of an era. The whole idea of a unified Gulf bloc acting in perfect lockstep is giving way to a more complex, more competitive landscape. Ambitious national agendas are now overriding the historical ties that once held these countries so tightly together.
And that really leads us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? With this key pillar of regional stability now cracking, a power vacuum is starting to emerge. The competition between former allies like Saudi Arabia and the UAE is really just beginning, and it leaves the future of the Middle East more uncertain than ever.
Thanks for joining Current Affairs with FRAZ. Subscribe for more real analysis, and we'll see you in the next update.